In this final part of the animated news website series, we are going to focus on creating an animated progress bar that tells the user how far they've scrolled down the page. If you haven't already, check out the previous part of this series linked on screen and in the description down below. And with that, let's jump in. Let's tackle the final part of this project, which is going to be the progress bar in the navigation bar that tracks our scroll progress as we scroll down the page. Here in the navbar file, let's scroll down a little bit. And just like with the dynamic sizing of the navigation bar, we're going to take advantage of the use scroll hook from Framer Motion to track our progress down the page. But this time, we'll be able to directly use it because we just care about the overall progress on the page. So in the navbar component, we're going to pull in scroll by progress from the default use scroll. And then we're going to set a variable here called progress bar width. What we're going to do is we're going to have the progress bar just be a line essentially across the bottom of the navigation bar. And to make this tie to the scroll, we're going to set the value of the width based on the scroll Y progress. So we'll dynamically set that here. So progress bar width equals, we'll use transform again. We'll tie it to scroll Y progress, which takes a value from 0 to 1. And we're going to map these to values of 0% and 100%. So when scroll Y progress is 0, the width is 0%. When scroll Y progress is 1, the bar width will be 100%. Great, so we've actually set up all of the tracking. So now let's go down and add the actual progress bar and show this visually. So I'm just going to the bottom of the navigation bars, JSX. And here I'm just going to add a div, and we're not going to put anything inside of it, so we'll make it a simple div. We'll first just set the style here, and we notice the width of this is going to be attached to progress bar width. It's complaining because it's saying we're trying to pass a motion value in, so for that, we're just going to make this a motion div. And then let's do some styling with tailwind. I'm going to set the height just to the value of 1 in tailwind, just to make it pretty lightweight. I'm going to set the background to be blue, so I'm just going to make it blue. And then for positioning this, I'm going to do a absolute positioning. The bottom is 0, so it's going to be stuck to the very bottom of the nav bar. The left positioning is 0, so stuck to the very left. And I'm just going to set a max width of 100%, just to make sure nothing goes awry. But we're going to leave the width alone because, of course, the width's being set here dynamically. Hit save, and now you'll see there's nothing here. If I scroll down, look at that. We see the progress bar show up, and until we hit the very bottom is when it takes up the full width. Now, the one thing here that's suboptimal is if I go back to the home page, once this thing loads, the progress bar is still showing up. And we really only want this to show up on the individual article pages because that's where the progress bar is really most helpful. So for that, we need to dynamically set this based on the route. So first, in the nav bar, I'm going to add a property that we can pass in to decide whether we want to show it or hide the scroll progress. So I'm just going to make a property here called show scroll progress. We'll make it optional so that we really just need to tell it when it needs to show it. We'll add it to the destructured props as well. And then here, for the motion div that we just added, we're going to dynamically show this based on the value of show scroll progress. So say show scroll progress, double ampersands. And so if show scroll progress is true, then we'll show this. Otherwise, it will just not show this at all. Great. And so now if I refresh the page, or actually if I just start scrolling because it auto refreshes, we'll see the scroll bar has disappeared, as it should, because by default, this variable is empty or is null, and so it won't show anything. So now we need to actually actively set this value so that it shows on the right pages. And so for that, we're going to go to the app file, and we're going to do all the configuration here. First, I'm going to figure out if I need to show the scroll progress bar or not. So for that, I'm going to create a new state variable called show scroll progress, and say set show scroll progress equals use state. And the initial value I'll say is false. And then we need to dynamically set this based on the route. So for that, I'm going to set up a use effect. And this use effect, what I'm going to do is we're going to take advantage of this router property that the app has. So we're going to say if router.pathname.includes /article/ so saying if the actual web page link we're looking at is a /article/, then we want to set show scroll progress to be true. So we want to show the progress bar. Else, we don't want to show this progress bar. So we set the state to false. And then finally, we just need to add dependencies, and we're just going to want this to run every time that the router's path name changes. So every time we go to a different web page, it'll run this and automatically will set the right value for show scroll progress. And then now all we need to do is we just need to scroll down to the nav bar and just pass in that new property. So show scroll progress, we'll set this equal to the show scroll progress state that we just set. Hit save. So now I'm on this page, and if I scroll, you can see the progress bar is back, just as we wanted it. If I go back to the home page, let's say, and I scroll, it's not there. So we've dynamically set it to the right values. Again, go to a different article, and the scroll is back. With that, we've officially finished off this project, and we've tackled a lot here with so many different really cool animations. Hopefully you all enjoyed it and were able to learn something useful that you can take for your own projects. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them down in the comments below. Also, if there are any other topics you want to see covered on the channel, let me know down in the comments. And on screen now, you'll find a link to another great tutorial that you might want to go check out next. And I'll see you in the next video.